Hey guys, got another project here. This time it's a double bit axe. This one's about 3.5 pounds. The history on it is it belongs to a friend. He asked me if I wouldn't mind setting it up for his dad. His dad found this thing on a family farm many years ago, and best I can understand, it's been hanging on the side of a barn for about the last 20 years, just between a couple of nails. I can't find any markings on it to tell me, if it's a particular brand or who made it. Maybe after we do some cleaning up on it, something might show up, but I kind of doubt it. Just looking at it now, it's kind of pitted. It's not nearly as bad as the one I just did, the little Jersey axe, but this one still is kind of rough. But I can definitely get a good edge on it. Anyway, we're going to get to fixing it up. I'll take you along for the journey. One of the first things we're going to do is hit it with this Evaporust. This stuff really works good. If you watched the last video I did, it did a super awesome job cleaning up that Jersey axe, as rusty as it was. Okay, here we are several hours later, in the next day. Let's see what we got out of this deal here. Do a little clean up. Can we find any identifying marks on this guy yet? Not looking too good. Take it over to the wheel, see what we get. Well, looks like it's not marked that I can find anyway. I can't find any kind of stamp. But either way, we're going to keep on going, get this thing fixed up. Okay guys, got a little bit of motor oil here, burnt motor oil that is. See, the whole head is somewhere in the 500 to 600 degree range at this point. Okay guys, the process I just went through was a quick, cheap and easy way to do a iron oxide layer in the steel, which, and I guess they call that heat bluing. You'll see that done on a lot of guns and gun parts. It creates a iron oxide layer on the surface of the steel, which helps prevent corrosion, protects it from, you know, the elements to an extent. It will, if you put this axe head to work, eventually you will rub that off, that top layer off, and you'll be back down to the raw steel again. But it's just a good way to help preserve the head once you've done all the work to it. So it's not a professional way to do it. It's just my way to do it. But now we're going to get to putting an edge on this thing, see how that turns out. Now, to keep from cutting my hand wide open and sharpening the other side, I'm going to take a little bit of duct tape, or this happens to be sure tape, which is what duct tape should have been, but ain't no more. Tape off the edge so that I don't end up having to take a trip to the hospital. There you go. Now we can sharpen the other side. I think I'm pretty much done with the head as far as fixing it up. I'm going to move on to setting the handle up. It's a good straight handle. There's no real deviations in it. I think this one will work pretty good. I want to get it seated all the way down this shoulder if possible. Have just a little bit of this out the top. Give me something to work with when I go to put the wedge in. I've got it charred now. I don't char them a lot. I mean, I just give it a light charring so I can make the grain and the wood show up better. I think it just looked pretty cool that way. So I'm going to go ahead and treat it with some good old boiled linseed oil. Help bring the colors out in the wood. What do you think of that? Now you can really see the grain orientation in the wood. So that's pretty close to being parallel with the head. So that should make a really strong handle. once I stitch through one way, I just turn around and start going back through the same holes the other way. So I've got it double stitched. I guess that's what you call it. Maybe not double stitched, but either way, it'll look a little more uniform and be better than what it was. I used a 1/16 drill bit to drill the holes into the leather. And once I get this done, I'll go back and use the wheel on my grinder to smooth all this off and make it a little more uniform. It'll look better than what I got right now. In case you haven't noticed, I have an extra piece in the middle that'll protect the thread from the blade so it doesn't cut it. I realized rivets would be better, but I don't have any, and I really don't feel like doing all that. This, I think, will suffice. Better than any store-bought sheath you're ever going to get for an axe, if you can even find a sheath for an axe. This kind of stuff you just have to make yourself. So I took this piece that I've made for one side, basically laid it flipped over that way on the over on the bandsaw, and cut this piece out. And I gave a little extra for, you know, burnishing and trimming and fitting, but that'll give me the opposite piece, so that when I put them both on the axe, like so, it'll be a mirror image of it. So both of my buckles, my snaps, will be on the same side.
I want a hatchet.
What you want to do with your hatchet?
Who knows?
What are you wanting to do with your hatchet?
I just want to scrape off wood on a stick.
Okay. You tell me what you're going to do with your hatchet. You just, who knows? If I ask you a question, you answer it.
Yes, sir.
Well guys, here's the finished axe. Don't really know how old it is, but it's been around a few years. I like the way the handle turned out. I had just enough charring after I sanded it off to really give it some, define the character of the handle and the wood. And the blade's definitely plenty sharp enough. I like the way the heat blowing turned out as well. It really gave that metal a good dark look. And afterwards you could smell the burnt motor oil kind of coming out of the metal for a while. So I do know it did impregnate the top layer of steel somewhat with the oil, which is kind of cool. So I appreciate you following along, and guess we'll see you on the next one. Guys, I felt like what better way to end this video than having this double bit do what it was designed to do. So here I am felling a oak tree that was damaged in the top from a storm. Thanks for watching, guys.